Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Gold Anna. I think we might see some Moira and some Lucio as well, but we'll call it a Gold Anna, Gold Support player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Okay, so the one-shot preload there, it's a little better. You're going to be a little light going into this. I can live with that. Okay, so I can live with that, but I'm not going to. Here we go. You're here.
I have your back.
Fine. Throw it. You're throwing it at the ground behind him, and I really don't like that. Where we actually wanted to throw it was a little to the right of him, because it had the chance of splashing forward if this Reinhardt shield goes down. We wanted to put it like here. Is what we wanted to do. It was going to get our Reinhardt, and it was going to get him. At the very least, we wanted to throw it directly at our Reinhardt to hit him, which I'm very confident we could have done. By throwing it at the ground, not just the ground here, but the ground, like, by throwing it at the ground behind him, we create this situation where there's no chance of it splashing past and getting value, effectively, of it getting more than just the Reinhardt. Yes, we want our Reinhardt. We're in a situation where we're going, oh shoot, we're really behind in our Reinhardt, and we want to get cut up, and I expect him to take more damage, and he's in a choke getting focused. Like, nading your Reinhardt is fine here, but we don't want to do this shallow nade that can only possibly get Reinhardt. We want to try and find a way to throw this nade so that it could get someone else. And your best spot for that is, really right here. But your next best option for that is I'm going to throw it directly at my Reinhardt, not shallow of my Reinhardt. Because, again, we have to reach for more value with our nades. Okay. Just press X. Press X. It is incredibly important that you get healed here. Good. Yeah. I'm less a fan of that. He's not in nearly as much danger this time. So if you look at this res, last time the other Reinhardt could swing on him, and that was a problem. This time his health might be low, but that's the fire strike right there. He's not taking any more damage, or if he does, it's because he puts his shield down. You don't need to do anything to it. You don't need to nade him. You should heal him, sure, but you don't need to do more than that to him. Just shoot at him. Literally just shoot at him. Who's going to hurt him? Who's going to hurt him? He's still got shield left. He doesn't have like 1,000 shield left, but he has reasonable amounts of shield left. You can see this right here. Turns out he had 600 shield left. Totally fine. You can heal him up from this the normal way. And the Zarya doesn't need this at all, and it's not going to get any offensive value. So this has to just be heal, heal, heal.
Healing enhanced.
Why did you hit
Healing
that?
enhanced.
You have 8 shots. You just saw that rock come in. You see that your Hanzo's missing health, and you decide, nah, I'm going to reload. Interesting.
Where does it
Okay, this Hanzo is holding this angle on you now, and you have to get, a little more comfortable with the fact that he's holding this angle on you now. You can't just be like, yes, I'm going to go down here repeatedly. We might have to go, okay, I'm going to use my Ryan to transition across. He's up here this time. I'm going to use this to transition across. I'm going to pay more attention to that he's up here. Like, not the end of the world, but he's gotten you standing in this spot twice now. So he's looking to hold this earlier from here, or this time from here, earlier from back here, but he's going to be looking for this, and you know that now. So let's see if you adjust. Good afternoon, Mr. Temporal. Thank you for entertaining me during my lunch with a VOD review. You're welcome, Blah. You're welcome.
I wasn't cut out for retirement anyway.
Still don't like that name.
You're covered.
You tried. So,
You're covered.
here you are. Currently your Reinhardt's up, but it's too dangerous for you to turn that corner. You see the Hanzo, you heal the Zarya,
You're covered.
and you can't go for your Rein. Yeah, this is correct. By the time you could go for your Rein, you don't even check on him. By the time you could have gone for him, he was gone. Thank you for entertaining me during my Count class with Havad review. You're welcome, Joshua.
Marked by the dragon.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم.
Heroes never die.
On the objective.
Okay, so we weren't really here for the real successful pushes, so let's see if we can up our contribution to this match a little bit. Hey, Semitic! Just waiting for one of these VOD reviews to pop up and for me to be in it. Yeah, that'll happen eventually.
Oh, you look tired.
Fine. You don't have the sleep. Are you going to keep him honest? You're going to use a nade. Okay.
Take your medicine. We still need you. Heal up.
No, we do not use our nade to cover for the fact that Genji's hard to hit. We either hit the shot ourselves, try to hit the shot and miss it, and just continue calculating, well, does he need it more or does Reinhardt need it more? Or we accept that our Mercy's going to get him because Mercy has no trouble at all healing him and it's not like she's far away.
Keep you healed.
Might have been nice to. So, like, here we are. Remember that nade that you wasted? Well, you didn't totally waste it. I'd have preferred a shot. No, yeah, you did waste it. It was just on the Genji. Remember that nade that you wasted on the Genji? Look how awesome it would be right here to heal your Reinhardt and to purple this Hanzo. Like, that would be pretty amazing. Eh? Eh? Shame you don't have that.
I will keep you healed.
Okay, how's this nano gonna get used? You should be pretty aggressive about pressing X to get Mercy to heal you. She probably just doesn't even see that you're missing health because her screen is forward like this. You are perfectly happy to heal these two targets that she's healing if she heals you. You'll heal them even if she doesn't heal you, but you really would prefer that she prioritizes healing you over them. Your team is going to have more total durability if you do that. So just press the I need healing button. Even though it just happened, press it. Don't you dare!
Get me
Yeah! Yeah. That's not what our nades are for. Still not what they're for. Yeah, I get what you mean, Bluff.
My team still needs me.
Should they save the nano for Blade or throw it on Rein? At this point, the Genji has been slow to get Blade, and it would still be fine. It would still be fine to nano the Rein. If we get much further than this, you hit a point where you go, no, you're going to want to wait for the Genji. You just have to calculate, hey, how fast is this Genji getting Blade? Like, did the switch and then instantly get 50%? Did they go, oh, I've been getting this the whole way? Well, if they've been doing this, you don't want to necessarily be waiting. You can wait at 50%, but 50% is sort of the... 50% is sort of the place where you go, yeah, you could go either way on this. But if you see a good opportunity to use it on your Rein, like early in this next team fight, by all means, go for it. Genji's only at 26. Okay, so if the question was asked when he was at 26, definitely nano the Rein. Yes. Especially since Genji got his ult charge rate nerf in exchange for the very slight fire rate buff, was it? Anna's can beat him. Like, similar levels Anna's are going to beat him pretty consistently. So you can afford to go ahead a little bit here.
Heal up.
Why? I'm just not worried about your Reinhardt. Now I might be worried about your Reinhardt.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Ouch.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Ouch. You try to go for this, but he's purpled and pinned. And the opponents are fluxing. I just don't really like that you're going for this, to be perfectly honest. Like, you know that you're down a player. Pretty sure you could see the flux. Yeah, you hear the flux. You did hit the res.
You're powered up. Get
But,
in there.
like, I don't think I want this because your Rhine is going to get caught in this flux. Like, that's almost a certainty that your Rhine is going to get caught in this flux. And if I'm going to nano him, I'm going to nano him late to save him from the flux because I don't want a bunch of the nano's time wasted in the air. Obviously, the purple happens at the last instant. You don't know that he's purple, but I just wouldn't even want to nano into this situation. Like, I would, if I was going to nano to save him, it would be like, okay, they're both going to get caught in the flux. I'm going to heal the Genji and then nano the Rhine last second, and then he's assuming my Rhine's going to be on top of the other Rhine when he gets slammed to go do damage. This is not a terribly good calculation. Okay, I wanted the Moira. Little slow to swap to heals there. Like, I don't mind helping the finish at all, but you just, literally just the input delay on swapping to heals was a little on the slow side. Don't need to push ahead of our team. Don't need, no. We do not need to fade forward to go scout. That is not a thing that we need to do in the slightest. You had full resource. You have full resource. There's not some great need for you to be up here. There's especially not some great need for you to be up here without fade available to you. Genji might have gotten himself eliminated anyway, but that might have been to protect you that he did that. Like, oof. And now you're demanding Zarya's resource? Bubble? Okay.
I'm restored.
McCree would have been so much better with that bubble. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. How's your Reinhardt doing? Oh, your Reinhardt is swinging. Your Reinhardt is swinging. Your Zarya is fighting. And you're over here not with the tank group. Okay, there's two places that Moira provides value to her group. Without her ult, the two places that Moira provides value to her group are with her tank core, because she has an easy time healing them. They can do things with getting lots of heals. That's good. And she can also provide some pretty decent value in her own backline when she's fighting off flankers that have shown up, etc. Oh, but can't she find those flankers on the flanks? Yeah, she can find those flankers on the flanks, but if she finds anything but those flankers on the flanks, that's not great. And if it takes any time to retreat from the flanks to her front line, that's also not great. This would be an example of she found something that wasn't a flanker on the flank, and it does take a meaningful amount of time to retreat from this flank to where her tanks are actually fighting. So, like, this isn't great. This isn't really what we want to be doing a ton of with Moira. We want to think about where is our hero effective in the landscape of the battle, and that really is going to be with, hey, the tanks. That's where we want to be, especially if our resources are full, just fine, etc., which they were. There's a lot our tanks can do when they're just getting healing poured into them. And this is just the wrong distribution of labor completely. Like, we would much rather our Mercy go with our McCree to try to win on the flank there, and we support our tanks rather than vice versa. Is this the first? No, it's not. We've reviewed this player before.
The payload has been stopped. We must get it moving again.
Ouch.
New beginning. New thinking. This will restore you.
Okay.
Fire at will.
Fine. Leave. That Hanzo should instantly be making you leave. There you go.
This will heal you.
Already half resource without a fight is rough. It is, but I didn't mind it so much there because she was just trying to keep her Zarya alive. She was just trying to keep her Zarya alive, who was out in the open up there. Like, most of that was with a point, and the Zarya was taking incoming damage. Could it have been done better? Absolutely, but we've got other problems to work on. Okay. Ooh, bounced off that. Okay. That's a little heavy on the hog heal there. Yeah, you're getting a little heavy with your resource usage here. So here we are. McCree was already full health, and that was not the gentlest of tap. So when you're healing people that aren't your tanks, or that aren't missing a ton of health, or that, let me rephrase, that aren't in the line of sight, your taps can be much gentler for healing. Just a little puff of healing cloud will roll effectively enough hot on them to be worth it. Like, little puffs of healing cloud will do quite a bit at a very, very low resource cost, and this, you probably got twice as much healing use as you needed to on this McCree here, just as an example. Like, you just saw how small the puffs can be. There, a puff can be that short. You just saw how short a puff can be and still get some hot value effectively. So even if you thought your McCree was missing health, or even if you wanted to pre-roll hot on him, whatever the case may be, this is more than you need. This is more than you need. This is more than you need. More than you need. Half that would have been fine. This is more okay. But even so, I'm not super worried about losing our hog right here. I can heal hog right here. This isn't necessarily wrong to be like, hey, I'm going to heal hog. But we can also go on, off for 2 seconds, on, off for 2 seconds pretty quick here. He was gone and you knew it. He was like, you knew he was eliminated when you pressed that button. Too much. The hog's out of line of sight of the opponents when you're holding that left click down. Now the opponents are in line of sight again, but if you knew the opponents were in line of sight again, you'd be pressing fade, not left click right now. It's too far of a fade, and it's also not the retreat path you wanted. You wanted to fade back towards spawn at this point, because you're not going to be able to safely exist over here. You're more likely to just get staggered. The dragon becomes me. I know this may be my inner plat showing, but Hanzo is a BS hero. Yeah.
Get into position. Surrender to my will.
I know you're annoyed and you want to make something happen, but you do still generally want to upgrade good pushes, not make pushes yourself when you're playing Moira here. So, like, are you convinced that you can get him? You can probably get him. I didn't like how narrow that spot you were going to have to go through was. Okay. Got one. Works out.
This is my will. Allow me.
Careful. You just used your ult, so you can't go crazy on resource usage here. You just used your ult, so you need to be efficient on your resource use, because you're not going to have your ult to sustain you through a battle at this point. So we look at this.
This is my will.
He's missing health. No problem. We can tap him with heals. We can throw some real heals on him if we want. Either way. But now we're done. Now we're done. Plenty of real heals on him. That's plenty. Stop. You just used twice as much as you needed to there.
Allow me.
Now you're healing the cart. Healing the cart. Fine, you've got him.
The battle draws to its conclusion. We must attack.
Yeah, those gentle puffs I'm good with.
This will heal you.
That's way more than the Genji needs. Way more than the Genji needs. The Genji has broken line of sight. The thing in front of him is a Winston. That's way more than he needs. The gentlest little heals will work.
Touch from afar.
Healing stream engaged.
This will restore you.
Okay. You don't have Fade? Why don't you have Fade? What'd you use it for again? No, you... There you are.
This will restore
No, you do have Fade. Okay.
The payload unit circuit.
You don't know, you didn't know where you wanted to go with the Fade. Okay, so I get it. You're on cart. This is end of the fight. You have to decide, and that's what you're gonna do. Is you're gonna unfade in exactly the same place. That's fine. There wasn't really a place to avoid them well. Team's gonna run it in without you, and now you're gonna play some Lucio. Okay. Do you really want to be playing Lucio, or was that just because... I'd honestly just go turn around and swap again. In the new spawn. No. No. See, I'm gonna be honest. You got the cap that you needed. You can just ride back and swap, and that's what I'd recommend. I don't want to play Lucio Mercy. Like, I don't want to play Lucio Mercy. You can't make me. If we are going to play Lucio, I'm looking at this. I'm not convinced I want to go in and fight these guys yet. I'm not at all convinced I want to go in and fight these guys. I definitely am not jumping over the Reinhardt shield to fight here. I might go up on these walls and fight from here. Specifically, I'm probably going to spam the Reinhardt. I'm not going to do it right now because this is a 1v4 and that's silly. And I could, if I get slept or flashed, I lose. So I'm not going to do this now. But I would be getting up on this wall and just trying to spam Reinhardt is what I'd be doing. But I'm not going to do it right now because, again, the numbers don't make sense. No, there's 2 stuns there. And it's a 1v4. I don't want anything to do with this. Booping him away doesn't do anything. I shouldn't be here in the first place. Why am I on heals? Now I can be on heals. Leave. Leave. Okay. Great. Now you're going to boop him out? Is that because your Roadhog hooked Monkey in and you're saying I want to keep the rest out? That's okay if it is. Yamping the old. Why are you just tip of the spearing this? Cool. We're pushing our ult. Great. Where could we be pushing our ult from? We could be going, hey, I'm going to ride here and shoot down. We could be going, I'm going to hop between the pillars, and then I'm going to do some loop-de-loos on this pillar as I shoot. We could be going, hey, I can just go back and forth on this wall, helping my hog out as I shoot at this Reinhardt, or past this Reinhardt, but at this Reinhardt is fine. No, I'm not diving onto the ground in the middle of the fight as Lucio. No. They're booping all wrong. I know. But it's okay. Lucio's tough until you understand him. Let me rephrase that. Lucio can be a little tough for beginning Lucio players to use their brain on because they're too focused on his shot mechanics and his wall ride mechanics. Or they don't have them, so they play him wrong. Even with pretty low levels of those things, you need a little bit of them, but even with pretty low levels of those things, excuse me, you can get some value out of him. You just have to understand what can be done with him, even if you don't have the most powerful wall ride and shot skills.
Time to accelerate.
No, stop it. Stop ending up in this situation as Lucio. Please stop. Stop it. And you went down with 15 seconds left, which means no one will touch. That's your job as Lucio, is to get the touch off. What is this? What is this? Okay. Who are we playing for round 2? Because if that's the end of Lucio and Moira, I'll talk about Lucio and Moira.
Initiating match.
Lucio was the pick when they were in overtime on second, but then there needed to be a swap off because they didn't have ult charge. So
Ready for battle.
No dying on my
BAP?
Never
Yeah, no.
stop
Okay.
fighting for what you
I think that's going to do it for, I'm guessing that that's it for the Lucio and the Moira play. So what I want to talk about on both of them is your aggression. On the Lucio, you were just finding yourself in front of your team too often, and that's not where you live. And on Moira, you also pushed ahead of your team with full resource to go find opponents to maybe stagger. Didn't really make sense. Like, you can push forward as part of a group, but you can't use your fade to push forward. And as soon as it's turned into we're not just winning this, it's okay, I need to be ready to rejoin my team for the main fight, which you just were not remotely interested in doing. Because where you provide power as Moira is primarily to your tanks. That's primarily where you're providing power. Moira doesn't have the ability to go, I'm challenging over here and I'm providing value to my tanks over here. She doesn't have that. It's one of the design flaws with her. It's one of the things that makes her hard to get good value out of in the best compositions, the highest levels of play, etc. But like, congrats, you found her fatal flaw. She can't be over here and provide good value over here. Her orb isn't enough. So with that in mind, you got to get less aggressive with those two supports. Like, you have to be less aggressive. You can't be, hey, I go push with my Lucio. Hey, I go push with my Moira. With your Moira, you want to be playing around putting a stupid amount of healing in your tanks. That's going to be the first thing for her. And the second thing is you have to manage your resource a bit better when it does come to your Moira. Like, yes, it's okay to go, hey, I hard heal a Zarya that's out in the open. I hard heal a Reinhardt that's swinging. That's okay. But you have to keep in mind, how much resource do I have? How close am I to my ult? Because if I'm going to be at half ult when I'm at 0 resource, I'm not going to have a good time. And the answer to this isn't to get a ton more damage off. It's not, though some of that can happen in the fight that's actually happening. The answer to this is to better manage your healing, so that, hey, I've got a splash of healing when people are out of line of sight. I can mostly splash heal them, or I can partially splash heal them. And by splash, dollop heal them. Like, here's a dollop, here's a dollop, here's a dollop, and let the hot roll a bit. Like, get the tiniest bit of real heal and let the dot go. Get the tiniest bit of heal and get the dot go. And that's just like, dollop of heal, wait 2 seconds, dollop of heal. And if it's like, hey, the fight is happening, they broke line of sight, but the fight is happening here, and they're just waiting to get healed up, that's okay. You can heal them a little heavier. There should still be slight breaks to let the hot roll a little to preserve your resource, but you can heal them a little harder because you want them back in the fight, because the fight is actually happening. But you have to recognize, is the fight actually happening to justify that? And you have to be thinking about, well, I'd like to hard heal you, but I only have 40% resource, and that's just not enough to get me to my ults. So I'm going to have to do some more dollop healing and some less hard healing, and, less priority on getting you back in the fight as quickly. So, like, need to adjust the healing resource? Sure. I think what's probably happening is you heal too heavy. You heal too heavy, and because you heal too heavy, you feel the need to go try to find right-click damage all the time. And you don't need to find right-click damage all the time. It's totally fine to find it when it's there to protect your backline against flankers. It's fine to throw some right-click damage at the front line while you're going, like, hey, I'm weaving this in between heals and things like that. Like, that's fine too. And again, you can do that same thing where it's like, I'm rolling the hot on my Reinhardt, and while that hot is rolling, let me right click for a moment, and now I'm back to healing my Reinhardt, maybe for real, maybe refreshing the hot roll, etc. Like, that's all fine. But if we fix that and we fix this, let me go off on an adventure, let me push ahead of my team, let me fade into danger, problem, we should be good. If we were to pick a third thing for your Moira, it would be your Phage usage, but we're not going to because that's too many things. For your Lucio, again, I wouldn't have been him. I would have said, yes, good for the overtime spawn, then go back and swap because you had a Mercy partner and it just doesn't work well. But the real thing for your Lucio is you can't just end up in the front line. You can't just go in like that. Use the walls. Don't try to dive into bad situations. Don't be in the front of bad situations. It's not where you belong. You belong on the side up on the walls where you're not going to get just pulverized by people as hard.
Teleporter online.
Attackers
I have
incoming
opened the
in
path.
30 seconds.
Do not deviate from the plan, and victory will be ours.
Okay. Let me take a look here. Literally everyone else on the support side would be a better pick than Lucio. Again, I think the Lucio pick was because of overtime, which was fine. Just the not swap off was then the thing. And the team needed to regroup anyway, so there was time to swap off. Rule number 2 of support. Okay. Uh, enough, guys. I literally cry now when I say, okay, you guys really don't like the Lucio. I mean, I know you actually are fine with Lucio. You just let me rephrase that. Some of you don't like Lucio being your teammate ever. Um, yeah, you should personally feel attacked, blah. But most of you, I think, are just objecting to the Lucio Mercy, which is a fine objection, but it's enough. Let's move on. DPS Moira playstyle mentality. I mean, it's not like you can't get any value out of her. If you want to abuse that part of her kit hard, you can, but you better make stuff happen when you go, hey, if you're going to leave the front line to go do flank battles on Moira while the line is fighting, you better track down flankers and dominate them hard constantly because you have to get a lot of value to make that worth it. If you're just weaving DPS while you're supporting your front line, that's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever. And gold, you should be weaning off Moira to something else, like almost anything else that works better in higher ranks. I don't know. You can go further than gold with Moira. Like, you're going to struggle in High Masters and GM with Moira, but you could get into plat, high plat with Moira. You could Diamond should be, yeah, Diamond's doable. Like, you've got some time that you can still get value out of Moira, and I'm not worried about this player overly playing Moira. I think they have other supports that they'd like to play, and they sort of went, "Hey, Anna's not working. Let me go do this, etc." Like, I don't think this is a hard Moira player, so I'm not worried about that. Moira's played at highest level. You can't one trick her. Great. She was great at fuel speed use, says our Rhine player. Okay. You're the Lucio. People don't want us their teammate. Okay. That's enough. Back to our review.
I'll be busy soon enough.
Five, four, three.
Do you have a practice nade? Ready?
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
No ult charge.
Go. I keep you.
Okay. Why are we reloading? So, you've done this a couple times. This pre-healing reload thing with 11 shots left. I don't particularly like this. Like, this fight, these guys are right here. Remember, you didn't start back here. You started here and you did a delayed nade here. So, like, these guys can see your team. You want to be careful with your pre-healing reloads. They're not great at 11 out of 12. If you've got all the time in the world, sure, hit them at 11 out of 12. But if you're going like one heal reload, which you did some of on your attack too, you're really just increasing the chance that something bad is going to happen while you're reloading and you're not going to be able to react to it. Like happens right here. Look, Zarya's already at 25, 30% health, and you just finished your reloads, and now you're playing massive catch-up. Your Zarya was probably in no danger if you were keeping your camera face this way and you had 11 shots. No danger. but you went for this reload after you'd spent one shot. That's not going to make a lot of sense when there's any real possibility that the battle can start. So, like, yes, you're trying to be like, hey, I would like to have 12 shots when the battle actually starts. I would also like everyone to be basically full health when the battle actually starts. But you don't usually get to pick both. If you can get both, that's fine, but you have to judge how likely is something bad to happen if I hit this reload. And you're sort of doing this like sliding scale thing that you're like, okay, well, let me move this around. Let me move this around based on how dangerous the situation is and how many shots I have left. If I have 11 shots left, the situation has to be very, very safe for my team before I'm willing to reload in a pre-healing situation. If I have like 6 or 7 shots left, but it's still pre-fight. It's not the real actual brawl yet. I'm probably willing to take some risk to hit the reload, and the reason I'm willing to is because if I don't, when the battle actually starts, I will definitely have to reload, and someone is likely to be in trouble because 6 shots probably won't get me through the battle or won't get the battle to its cleanup phase well enough where my team can rest without. So, like, as you get lower on shots, you're willing to do in a pre-healing situation, you're willing to go, I think it's fine to reload when the situation is a little more questionable. But this, with 11 shots, you should be very hesitant to do a pre-fight reload. Most of your pre-fight reload should be happening at like 7, 8, 9 shots left, not at 11 shots left, not at 10 shots left.
Go. I'll keep you here.
What? Didn't Genji just run over your team? Okay. You don't have nade or sleep, and there's a Genji. Oh, okay.
Healed up.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. If you saw, like, hey, we're behind massively, we have to make something happen, I have to hit a purple and my Ryan has to follow up on it, maybe, but I didn't see a window there. And an aid shield break meta, too. We try.
Objective lost.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
You can heal your Ana or heal your Ryan. Why do you hit your Ryan? Your Ryan is at 60% HP. 60% HP. You can hip shot him from here, you can scope shot him, you can quick scope, you can even just do, not complete the tech and do like, I'm going to jump, I'm going to scope, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to release type stuff because, to maintain your forward momentum so you're not slowing down here, but you still get your hit scan distance so that he doesn't move out of it. So many things you can do. That is not the one I would have recommended. I know the Hanzo's been giving you trouble all game. That is not the one I'd have recommended. I'd have happily said, keep your Reinhardt up. Again, you're not really Genji's pocket. You can help Genji out with Nano Blade, that's great, but and you can hit Genji across the map, which is cool, but your first priority as Ana is really going to be, well, first it's to keeping yourself alive, but where you have your influence on the battle is mostly where you can see your front line, because you pump out extreme amounts of healing. Similar with Moira, you pump out extreme amounts of healing. This isn't amazing. Still not amazing. If I have to, I can stand here, heal my Reinhardt, heal my Zarya, and I'll find angles on my Genji. I will. This isn't a place I want to be, because like I have to pick between being here and like backing up here to heal my team, or dropping into the middle. Like this isn't good. Fire strike replay bug. Please be aware of what's to your left. Your cover matters a lot right now. Okay, where are you wandering to? That's not a great nade. That's an okay nade. Barely, but barely. Okay. See that Genji's far enough away that we're gonna be good with that. Really? Does this seem like a good time to reload with 10 shots left? I feel like there's enough going on. I feel like your Zarya is, too likely to suddenly put you in a situation where you have to play massive catch-up healing on her before you go for this because you go for this reload.
Go. I keep you weak.
Be aware of the window. Ooh! Both abilities into the deflect. That hurts.
This is much better than command. I have your back.
He's gone. He's gone. Keep Moira. I believe. Good.
No power down. Get in there.
Why is your Reinhardt still alive?
Heal up.
Good block. Questionable charge. Oh, because his Mercy's out here. Yeah, I mean, I knew about the shatter. I just was thinking he shouldn't have had enough sustain, but the, what do you call it, was out here, and then there. Mercy got Valk. Okay, that's fine. Nano Mercy versus Nano Ride. I like it. Hey guys, it's the battle of like the Super Saiyans we have going on here, right? That's what we're seeing. Okay.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Heroes never die. I'm on fire.
This is gonna be tough to hold for 5.5 minutes.
I have spotted the enemy.
You want it ready. I will keep you healed.
Okay. No, don't play in the mid. Play to the right here where you can tuck on this cover. Are you gonna check left for the critical person? Why are you nading? Like, ideally, your Mercy would have dealt with that McCree a lot faster, but there's very little reason you couldn't have pivoted to heal him up.
Patched up.
What do you...
Feeling sleepy.
Okay. On the list of things that shouldn't have worked, that was, somewhere in the middle. Like, you were correct to off-angle for the ability usage. That is correct. That ability usage didn't help you a ton, but you were correct to off-angle for the ability usage. He just should have been able to reaction block that.
This will only hurt for a minute.
Nice.
I have your back.
But are you going to relocate? Because that Genshi's not going to get dealt with, and then he's going to wake up and take you. Oh boy, it's been nice knowing you. Okay. This Genji is wrong, but if this Genji is going to go to a point like this, I'm not too worried about the Mercy pulling out her blaster and shooting you. Maybe I should be, but I'm not too worried about it. So I'd prefer to stay up here on this limited high ground where I'm protected from shatters and such, where I'm a little harder for them to get at, as opposed to dropping here. I've got no desire to be here. Like, yes, I see you're rounding to try to get your Rhine. Okay, please tuck right. Please don't walk into it. Please don't walk into it. Okay, I hope this goes deep enough. It does. Did you really need that reload? Yeah. Yeah, cut by the shatter. should be the end, unless you guys have the ults to turn this. You don't.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
Genji has decided to be merciful and spare the Ana. If I was the Genji's mercy, I might have been annoyed at the Genji for sparing the Ana. But hey, so... This man just eats sleep on cooldown. Okay. So Red Ana is standing next to Blue Mercy and they're just chatting. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Okay, so getting into your Ana, the two things that we're going to want to talk about are your positioning and your nade usage. Your nade usage, again, especially your early nade usage, needs to be with things in mind of how am I going to get more value out of this than just healing. Like a nade to heal up your Reinhardt, not to heal your Reinhardt, but a nade to go, hey, my Reinhardt is low on health and in danger, so I'm nading him so that I can heal him back up faster because there's too much incoming damage and I need the plus 50% healing done to him. That is a valid nade. But we want to get better than that. We want to also get the purple if we can. We want to also get another tank of ours if we can. But primarily we want to also get the purple. And we don't just want to yeet it at him because we want to yeet it at him because, hey, I need the increased healing received on him so I can heal him back up faster because either there's simply too much incoming damage or I'm going to heal him back up faster so I can then look for offensive shots with some of my remaining time, with some of the time I saved by getting him healed up faster. Like we want our nades to do more than just be a heal, and we don't want our nades to be yeeted. Like we want to try to get offensive value out of our nades as much as we can. Just like you went up on that angle to get the sleep dart, even though it was an okay sleep dart. You want to be thinking, hey, this is a good spot to throw nades from. This is good. I want to hit my purples. And you're doing some of that, but I want less panic nade to heal the Genji. Less, well, let me just nade to heal my Rein when my Rein has his shield up and his shield has plenty of health and the other Reinhardt isn't close enough to punish him. He's not surrounded where his shield isn't good enough. Like if he has shield left, even if he has 200 health left, he's fine. Unless there's reasons that he's not, like a Reinhardt in his face, enemies behind and in front of him, so he can't shield both directions. Things like that. So please judge your Rein a little bit more in terms of, do I really need this nade on you? Because we would like to find other places to use our nade. We would like to find, hey, let's get the offensive value. Let's lean our nade forward. Let's throw our nade to hit our Rein, but also to hit in front of our Rein where it can get the Genji, where it can get the other Rein, etc. We do really want that. That's going to help us a lot. We could also look at our pre-healing thing, because this was an issue where we go, hey, I want to be a little more aware of how much ammo I have left when I'm reloading before fights, sort of in the semi-poke phase of fights, the rotation stage, the poke stage of fights, before we've really committed to a brawl when one team or both teams are running brawl or dive setups. I want to be careful with when I hit my reloads in the poke phase. If you're playing against a poke team, the poke phase is much of the real phase, but like you want to be aware of where you're hitting this. And again, we talked about the sliding scale. If the fight looks very close to starting, you're just going to suck it up and play with your 9 ammo, your 8 ammo, etc. If you have 11 shots, you're going to go, hey, I have 11 shots. I don't need to reload. I don't. If it's very clear that the fight's not about to start, I can reload. But most often, I'm going to go, hey, I'm perfectly happy to play my way down to 7, 8, 9 shots before I think about that reload. And if I'm at 9 shots and this fight starts, so be it. If I'm at 11 shots and the fight starts, so be it. I don't have to be at 12 shots when the fight starts. If I did, I'd just go, hey, it's not worth it to pre-heal. Because a lot of your pre-heals aren't even full healing dart value shots, and that's fine, but you have to understand the pre-healing tied to that effectively. But the real thing for you to work on across all of your heroes is going to be your positioning. You need to think about not just, hey, your safety, you need to think about where you provide value on your heroes. You need to think about, when I'm playing Ana, where do I provide value? Well, as Ana, I'm a big healer, and I provide value when I'm standing back away from the fight, sometimes on a little bit of an angle, where I can hit my Reinhardt. Like you as Anna want to be thinking about this game in such a way where you're going, hey, if I'm here, I can heal my Reinhardt and I can peek and throw stuff at them. I can heal my Reinhardt and I can peek and throw stuff at them. Or if I put this on defense, I can heal my Reinhardt from here. I can peek and shoot the Hanzo if I have to. This can work. I can play here if I have to. Heal the Reinhardt, take a slight angle, throw in my sleep dart, throw in my nade, etc. If I'm playing here, it could be a, hey, I'm healing my Reinhardt. Maybe I walk through here and throw a nade from here, and then walk back through here and go back to healing. And if I have to maintain healing here from a couple shots to find a window to rotate back, so be it. But like, you want to think about where can I interact with my Reinhardt. Whereas if I'm on my Moira, yeah, I'm going to be a little closer to the fight, so I can get value. I might be going heal, 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 heal. Okay, a little bit of right click, heal, 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 heal. A little bit of right click, heal, heal, heal. Not standing here, not pushing up to go fight in this flank, etc. But that's what I'm doing. Whereas if I'm on my Lucio, I'm looking to go, hey, can I stick to this wall? Can I stick to this wall? Do I want to pop up here and do some shooting? Do I want to roll through to boop their Reinhardt in? But I don't want to be on the ground here. I don't want to be in front of my Reinhardt on the ground. If I'm in front of my Reinhardt, I'm quite a bit up on the wall to the side. Like, you have to think about where your heroes that you're playing are effective. And with Anna, that's generally going to be behind your team, looking for small angles to hit abilities from, but behind your team where you can see your Reinhardt. It could be to the side of your team. It could be like a, hey, I'm healing my Reinhardt from here. I wouldn't actually recommend this, but there's places that you can justify that. But then you'd have to go up here to find abilities, and you're a little too accessible. So generally for Anna, it's going to be like behind your team, and then you look for angles to go do. With Moira, it's going to be, again, where you can interact with your front line, but you have some cover while interacting with your front line. And with Lucio, it's up on the walls, impacting your Reinhardt, or if you have to, you can go back and peel for your other support. But like, you gotta have those in mind. Like, where do I optimally want to be playing on this hero? Because you're putting yourself in a lot of bad situations just by not playing from your hero's optimal positioning. And these are things that you sort of have to get comfortable with each hero. Anna and Zen have similar positioning in a lot of ways, but most of the support cast positioning actually varies quite a bit. Like, they have some overlapping skills, but positioning by and large isn't one of them. Yes, knowing how to have cover. Yes, knowing where the flankers are. Yes, tracking where all of your teammates are and positioning in a way that you can see a decent number of them. Like, those are shield skills, but the actual spots that they like relative to their teammates differ pretty significantly between Anna, Lucio, Mercy, Moira, etc. And even BAP will be a little different than Anna and Zen. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. I gave you a fair amount, but the first thing that I'd want you to work on would be understanding, wait, I'm playing this hero, what does my positioning want to look like? Wait, I'm playing this hero, what does my positioning want to look like? And I think I gave you a pretty good walkthrough for the three that you played here. And I think you already have one for Mercy. So like, I think we're probably good on that, but I want you to then work on actually implementing that, thinking about, is this where I should be? And it's not like you have to be in that spot at all times, but you need to be thinking, wait, should I really be on this flank with Moira? Wait, should I really be in my front of my team here with Lucio? Wait, should I really be off? Is it okay for me to be over here with Anna? Yes, it is okay for me to be here with Anna because I'm delivering a quick, ability usage, etc. And then I'm rotating back and we'll have this and we'll end up in this spot. But like, we need to think about this. Do I need to be here with Anna? No, because I'm in front of, or I'm parallel with my Rhine in a way that I can't see him. Here I'm parallel with my Rhine, but I can see him. Here is even better. Like, we need to adjust this positioning. Okay. If you have questions, or if anyone has questions, throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. I have problems deciding when I should stay closer and when to rotate around cover to take more distance. This has been very helpful. Thanks. Perfect. Perfect. I have problems deciding when I should stay closer and when to rotate around cover. There's not going to be another one after this blah. I'm doing a team session that I'm doing a team session after this, but I do have at least one later in the day that I'll do that will get uploaded, and then I'll probably have another live session that I'll do too. I have problems deciding when I should stay closer and when to rotate around cover to take more distance. So you want to it's so when it comes to understanding your distance from the fight as Anna, Grandma Sniper is you like distance a lot, but you need to understand, hey, I might like distance less if there's a bunch of flankers that are going to come around and bother me, but not significantly because I can poke them out before they get to me. The real thing that's going to cause me to like distance less is predicting where my team is going to rotate. If I'm predicting that my Reinhardt is going to rotate into Mega Room, I can't be healing from over here. I'm going to have adjusted myself up to here, up to here, up to here, something like this, where I'll be able to, go, okay, so I was here. Let me rotate across to here to continue healing my Rhine type thing. If I'm back here healing my Rhine and my Reinhardt goes, I'm going to go fight in here, I now can't help him. So distance has to do with predicting how your team is going to rotate, what the people that you're interacting with are going to do in a lot of ways, as well as controlling your own safety. They shouldn't push in here until they've cleared this, and as you notice this is getting cleared, you would start to rotate up, as an example. The other thing becomes, okay, you like distance, but you also like to be able to take angles to deliver your abilities on Anna. So find distances that allow you to go, okay, let me hit a minor little rotate to throw an ability and then go back to where I want to play from. Okay. Is there another one after this? Not so much. Okay. I'm going to give it another second for questions there. I mean, for... How much at this elo should players hold Anna's ability for ultimates like Genji's played? The better you are at tracking it, the more you'll be aware of, hey, do I want to hold this? Do I not? But at this elo, I would mostly be holding how do I want to put this? If there's a flanker on the other team, I would recommend holding a cooldown to protect you from the flanker. And I would generally recommend that be sleep. If you're really comfortable, you might go, hey, I'm not going to hold an ability. I'm instead going to set myself up to use an ability. So like if I have sleep, let me rephrase that. So like if I have sleep off of cooldown, if I have both abilities off of cooldown, I might use nade. And then when nade is like 4 seconds away from cooldown, I might have positioned myself so that when nade is 2 seconds away from cooldown, I can get a good sleep off. And then I'm only really vulnerable for 2 seconds before, or even 1 second before my nade is back up. So I'm never really vulnerable, but I'm not just throwing away time either. Like you're going, hey, I'm going to positions to use my abilities as they become available, but I've generally got an ability available or a second or so from available to the point that Genji can't find windows to use stuff without having some level of punish. Or, whoever. Maybe it's Doomfist. Maybe it's whatever the case may be. That's how you can think about it. But when it comes to, hey, I'm going to hold my sleep for the blade specifically, I mean, how much are you hitting the blades? That's an individual skill thing. Like, how frequently are you hitting their blades with sleep darts versus how much value are you going to get out of sleeping their Rhine? Because if the opposing Genji has blade, but the team is back here and you hit a sleep on their Rhine, that is potentially going to let your team pick up eliminations and cancel the team fight because you slept their Rhine and now they're rotating across this bridge without their Rhine shield for an extra second. And that's a very real possibility that you'll get pickoffs. And if you get a pickoff, well, they don't even get a chance to use the blade. So it doesn't have to be a strict, oh, I'm always holding it for blade if you can create big enough openings like you could there. You shouldn't be popping it without a real purpose. Correct. Holding nade is far too risky just for ults. You can't hold nade just for ults. Nade is too high value. Nade is too high value to just hold for ults. If you have a specific plan of like we're gonna grab dragon nade through the transcendence, sure, but you shouldn't have to hold it for very long to get that combo off. Okay. I think that's gonna do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you later. Thanks. Temporal out.